Chris?
Britt, thank you. One of the 5 men sitting at this table tonight will be the Republican presidential nominee. We hope the discussion over the next 90 minutes will help you choose which one it should be. Here now are the 5 candidates. Rudy Giuliani, a former U.S. attorney and 2-term mayor of New York City. Fred Thompson, former senator from Tennessee. Mike Huckabee, who served 10 years as governor of Arkansas. Mitt Romney, former governor of the neighboring state of Massachusetts. And John McCain, now serving his 4th term as U.S. Senator from Arizona. Gentlemen, welcome. Let's get to it. Taxes are a big issue in New Hampshire, which, of course, is strongly anti-tax, and so let's start there. Governor Romney, you have gone after 2 of your rivals here at the table, Mike Huckabee and John McCain, for their record on taxes, but you don't mention that in your first year as governor, you raised fees on individuals and corporations by more than $500 million. Would you explain, sir, why your record on taxes is better than your 2 competitors here at the table?
Happy to. First of all, we raised fees by $240 million in our state because we had a whole series of fees that hadn't been raised, in some cases in decades, so we brought them up to the cost of providing services. These were not broad-based fees that were required for all people to pay, rather for specialized services. But let's talk about taxes. Lowering taxes grows the economy. Lowering taxes helps build jobs and helps working families. And so I strongly have been of the view that one of the great lessons from Ronald Reagan was that lowering taxes helped build our economy. Senator McCain was one of 2 Republicans who voted against the Bush tax cuts. I believe the Bush tax cuts helped our economy grow and are one of the reasons that we're not in a recession today. Senator McCain continues to believe, based upon his comments on Meet the Press today, that that was the right vote to take, and I respect that that's his view. I just happen to disagree with it. As governor, I fought tirelessly to reduce taxes. We cut taxes some 19 times in our state. Not as many times as I wanted to, but I was able to cut taxes with the help of the legislature time after time, and we held down spending. At the same time, Governor Huckabee has a fine record. He says he lowered taxes 94 times. I believe him. Net, however, the tax burden in Arkansas was raised by $500 million. I believe the figure is from his state. So we have different records when it comes to taxes. I believe it's critical for our economy going forward that we lower taxes again, and we do so for the middle class. And so I proposed a special savings plan for people of middle incomes. And that savings plan is this: any interest income or dividend income or capital gains earned by people earning less than $200,000 a year should be taxed at the new rate of 0. Let people save their money for whatever purpose they'd like to save. I believe that will help stimulate our economy, create the economic base for growth of our new jobs, and make it easier for middle-income folks to make ends meet. Thank you.
Senator McCain, you have a minute to respond.
Well, you know, when I first came to Congress, we were in the middle of the Reagan Revolution, and I was proud to be a foot soldier in that revolution. And we cut taxes, but we cut spending. And Ronald Reagan insisted that we cut spending because he knew that it was vital if we were going to keep the deficit down and not have the fiscal difficulties we have today. We had to cut spending. I'm proud to have supported those tax cuts. You know, as a matter of fact, interestingly, I'm proud to have the support of Graham and Rudman, which were the spending cut limits, of Jack Kemp, who has announced today that he's supporting me, a supply-sider. And I believe that if we had done what I wanted to do, and that's cut taxes, and at the same time cut spending, we'd be talking about more tax cuts today. But we let spending get out of control, and we know what happened. We lost our election, we lost our way, and we allowed the deficits to go up, and unfortunately, we have allowed us to betray one of the principles of the Republican Party. I'm in favor of tax cuts, we'll do them, but we'll cut spending when I'm President of the United States.
But Senator McCain, when you look at the fact that we survived 9/11, that we survived Hurricane Katrina, terrible blows to the economy, and the economy kept growing, a lot of people say that's because of the Bush tax cuts that you voted against.
Well, and when we see what happened to spending, and we have a bridge to nowhere of $233 million to an island with 50 people on it. And we have former members of Congress who are now residing in federal prison because of the spending and corruption. My friend, we have to, if we're going to restore the confidence of the American people and our Republican base first, we're going to have to cut the spending. We're going to have to eliminate the pork barrel and wasteful spending. And I'm proud to tell you, Chris, In 24 years as a member of Congress, I've never asked for nor received a single earmark or pork barrel project for my state, and I guarantee you I'll veto those bills. I'll ask for the line item veto, and I'll veto them, and I'll make the authors of them famous. And we'll get spending under control, and then we'll be able to have some fiscal sanity and restore trust and confidence on the part of the American people.
Governor Romney, does that answer your concerns?
No, it does not, because, frankly, one of the things that we did to get ourselves out of the recession, as we came out of 9/11, we were going into recession, we had the internet bubble boost. This president took a very bold action. He said, I'm going to cut taxes. And he did so, and that helped our economy turn around. Now, we've also heard for years a lot of people in Washington talk about how they're going to cut spending and cut out earmarks, and year after year spending grows and earmarks grow, even under Republican leadership. And that's why change is going to have to begin with us. And this isn't something I've just talked about, it's something I've done. As governor, I cut spending. In my first year, our budget actually went down. I cut state employment when I was governor. We cut back spending. I vetoed literally hundreds of items. And at the same time, I cut taxes 19 times and kept fighting to cut taxes. So you have a choice. You can select somebody who wants to fight for those things, or you can select somebody who's actually done those things. And I've got a record of cutting spending and cutting taxes.
I'm going to bring the rest of you in, but I want to give you, Senator McCain, a chance to respond.
Oh, sure.
To that.
Look, ask Jack Abramoff, who's in prison today, a guy who was a corrupt lobbyist and his friends, if I haven't cut spending. Ask the Air Force and Boeing, where I saved $2 billion by fighting against a bogus Air Force tanker deal. Ask the chairman of the Appropriations Committee, who calls me the sheriff, of the millions and millions of dollars that I've fought against and kept out of these appropriations bills. I think it was a reason why I wasn't elected Miss Congeniality in the United States Senate. I have a record of saving billions for the American taxpayers.
Governor Huckabee, you have also been a target of some of the tax ads from Governor Romney.
I've noticed that, yeah.
We have all seen also a TV ad, not from Governor Romney, of you back in the old days, about 100 pounds ago and several years ago, in front of the Arkansas State Legislature, basically calling for any kind of tax. And according to our study, during your time, 10 years as governor, you raised taxes net increase of $500 million. So does Mitt Romney have a point when he talks about your record as a tax cutter?
Well, first of all, you know, the semantics about taxes and fees, if you're a small business owner or you pay the fee, it's as much out of your pocket. You can call it a fee, you can call it a tax. It's still money the government's taking from you. It's the same thing. Here's what I do know. I know that there had never been a broad-based tax cut in the 160-year history of my state, and I signed the first one. I know that I cut taxes 94 times, and the taxes we cut helped families. We eliminated the marriage penalty. We doubled the child tax care credit. We indexed the income tax for inflation. We created the Property Taxpayer Bill of Rights. We froze property taxes for seniors so they didn't lose their homes due to increases in property taxes. When I became governor, from the time I left, 10.5 years later, sales tax was up 1 penny. And the income tax was the same. It's just a lot of people didn't have to pay it because we raised the threshold at which they did. But here's something else we did. We took a $200 million deficit, turned it into an $850 million surplus. We improved our schools and paid teachers better, had some of the most significant test score results that was based on a court case that I had inherited from 2 governors ago, Bill Clinton, Jim Guy Tucker, and finally it landed on my desk, and we actually finally got it resolved. We also rebuilt our road system. People want roads, and the people in my state voted by an 80% margin to vote for those roads and to pay 3 cents a gallon for gasoline. Government's supposed to work. It's not about the politics of saying I never raised a tax. It's about saying I made government work. And the fact is, there were specific issues that I've been attacked for, sometimes pretty brutally on some of these television spots. But I'm proud of the fact that I governed and lowered taxes and did something that had never been done in my state, and did it against the headwinds of a Democrat legislature that had never done it in 160 years before.
Governor Romney?
Well, facts are stubborn things. I think, Mike, you agreed that net, you raised taxes by $500 million. Is that right?
You know, Mitt, let's talk about how stubborn the facts are.
Answer the question.
The fees I think you raised were more like $500 million, not 240. You came into office with a deficit,
I asked you a question.
Left with one.
You know, facts are stubborn things. Let's get the facts right, okay? I came in, there was a $3 billion
tax cuts in 2002.
You know, Mike, you make up facts faster than you talk, and that's saying something. So let's slow it down and let's get the facts correct.